Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morale Booster with John Ughulu. And today I have with me a very interesting guest because I always bring in people who we can learn from. Her name is Nazeera Dawood. Nazeera, thank you for joining me on the program.
Thank you so much, John, for having me. I'm so excited this afternoon to join you and sharing wonderful messages together.
My pleasure. Okay, before I ask Nazeera to introduce herself properly, because I've already done the basic introduction, she's in a better position to tell us who she is and what she does. So before I ask her to do that, I want to remind those of you watching this program or listening to this program to remember to like it, subscribe, and share to people on your network. You can watch this program on YouTube. So remember to share it. Thank you very much. So Nazeera, over to you. Can you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Sure. Thank you so much, John, first of all, to giving me this opportunity to be with you and speak with you today. And for those who are listening, thank you for listening to this program with the Morale Booster with
Yes.
John Ughulu, right?
Yeah,
make sure to subscribe and like his program. And thank you, John. I've seen some of your previous guests and they are very inspiring as well. So to give you a short version of who I am, deep down I'm still finding who I am.
Okay.
So deep within, that's a quest of my life to understand who I really am. But from the professional aspect, I have completed my doctor. I used to practice medicine in India, so I finished my medical school there, and I practiced medicine there, and found a missing gap in preventive medicine. So I did my master's in public health at UNC Chapel Hill to understand the public health aspect and prevent diseases.
Okay.
And from there, I went into academics for a few years, conducting research and finding more information on improving health, especially those with cardiac diseases.
Okay.
And from there, I moved on to the government sector, which was my dream job. And for 7 years, for a few years, I was working as the program director for the health promotion, and then I was asked to be the chief of staff for the chairman in the county government, in the board of commissioners. And so, so that was, as political as it can get in the county arena. Yes. And then I quit 2.5 years ago. I resigned and I became an entrepreneur. So I know it's a long version, but yes. I just did limit myself to one part of the career.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's one of the major reasons why I decided to bring you on the program, because you have a unique story that would resonate with so many people out there.
Definitely. Thank you, John.
So I would want you to speak to the heart of, possibly some immigrants, some women who have some limiting beliefs and feel for some reasons they cannot achieve the American dream, or they cannot be part of the American dream. They cannot achieve their goals here. So I want you to speak into the souls of those people. So, but let me ask you first of all, what motivated you to become an entrepreneur? Because I know you have a long career of, you were in the government, so what motivated you to get into entrepreneurship?
Sure, John, a very good question indeed. So throughout my life, if you've seen, I didn't limit myself or didn't believe in limitations. I've always crossed the borders and set open the limitations to show others that you can pave your own way. And always following some other's way might not be your own best way because you have a purpose. I found my purpose is continuing to serve with humility. And what my career has done for me is acted as a tool, and it was not the one and only thing. Right. Yes, we all need the monthly check. We all need to, have the confidence that we don't have to ask, but we can sustain ourselves first, either through education, through getting a job, or forming a career. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, it's like, is this who you really want to be? Or is this who you really are? Are you getting the time to serve your passion, to serve your purpose? When I was in the government, I was traveling 2 hours in the morning, and to commute was 2 hours in the evening. So almost 4 hours of my 7 years was spent in driving. But I don't regret it, because of that experience. It gave me the confidence, and the knowledge that I've gained has helped me to pursue the entrepreneurial path. And believe me, it wasn't that easy, especially for someone who gets this monthly checks.
Yes.
And suddenly, how can you imagine not getting those monthly checks? Who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to make the car payment? And all those unknown fears. And someone who's never done business and has nothing whatsoever, has never touched finances much in life at all, especially coming from the culture that I am, from South India. It's very hard. Women usually don't get into the house financial matters. It's usually their spouses or their fathers or brothers. So trying to take all that at one shot. Okay, so you're leaving your job. So number one, there's no, not just the medical benefits or the security, the financial security.
Yes.
But then I think everything happens when you move beyond your comfort zone. And sometimes you have to make that hard decision and believe in yourself and have the right people with you, around you, especially those who believe in your talents, to help you to say, we are here, keep going. And few of us will find that. Some of us might already have them in our family. So it was a hard decision, but I know I needed to spend more time with family. Coming out of the county in good terms, especially in the political arena field, was was a good step for me, myself. And starting the business was where I saw, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more, specific about the business, of why we just didn't open it. We saw the need for it. So that's how the entrepreneurial field journey started. And I think apart from one or two well-wishers convincing that it's a great journey, I think ultimately it's you who has to make the decision, and it has to be without fear and confidence in self.
Right. That's true. I like that. Now you said something about you're originally from India, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so I want to ask, how did those not become a limitation at a point in your life? Like, when getting into the government sector, did you experience any segregations? Did you experience any challenges achieving that? Because now you have a very lovely story. First of all, you are an immigrant. Secondly, you are a lady, especially in a male-dominated world, in a place where we are still trying to convince people about gender equality. Now, you had those two very strong things that could be limiting beliefs in your life. So how did you manage to get past all those struggles?
So again, I strongly believe some of these limitations are in our brain, right? So if we can, being a doctor, I always think about let me open my brain cell over there and make that thought change and change it into a positive,
Yeah.
So I always say that you have to open up not your heart, of course, because you have to be compassionate throughout your life, but the brain cells to think, to say, is this a limitation? Because I think half of the things that go on is sometimes our own thoughts, and we have to cross that barrier. So you have to cross that obstacle, and for that you have to be, again and again, I keep bringing that self-confidence. No matter how many speeches you hear, I'm sure you'll have hundreds and others of women who are inspiring, but unless that person who's fearful of taking the next step decides to do, I'm gonna do it, I have confidence, and not just to take a risk, it has to be a calculated risk, so we really don't go fall down and get frustrated, but plan for it well and then decide to make it happen. So yes, I'm one of those ladies whom I've faced and continue to face, mostly the only brown in the majority of African American meetings, or the only brown in the majority of white meetings with Caucasians, right? And I never felt different. I just felt, get into the game, let's go strategize. And if so I never felt different. I've been called a sister, I've been called an OG, so people have welcomed me into their communities, and that's because I never just felt, okay, I'm different from you. Ultimately, I consider having practiced medicine and having understanding the organs, the anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, my mind always thinks it's ultimately the human race. All the other things are, we taint ourselves with titles and professionals, but if you deep down open it, we're all souls, and trying to do the best, not just for our family but for the community.
That's it, because you had a greater purpose, you had a why. So there was no limitation whatsoever. So yeah, that's good. So if you're listening right now, I want you to listen to, try to pick from what she just said. She said she had limiting beliefs, but she was able to overcome them. In life, you are bound to experience challenges. You are bound to be confronted with things that would want to set you back. But it is up to you to take up that challenge and keep moving forward. It is up to you to take action. Like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right, which means it's your decision to make and yours only. You will definitely come across everything that would want to hold you down. Do not give in to all those things. Now we're talking to an immigrant, someone from India, a lady in a world where, especially in the government sector that is dominated by men, she was able to go through it and live the normal life. Like, for example, when I go for meetings, I see people, trying to want to look down on me, but I know what I got in my head. I know when I start speaking, they would have a different opinion about me. So the main thing is take the bull by its horn. Always put yourself in that situation whereby that journey starts. Les Brown says, remember to stay focused on your dreams. That is the only way you can achieve success. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. So now with the way, with the paradigm shift now. Okay, let's talk about your business. Please tell us about your business, what you do, the types of clients you work with, and we're going to ask you for the contact information, so you should have that ready as well. So tell us about your business, please.
Definitely. So, John, when I think anybody is thinking of opening a business, because I think the viewers are listening as well, first of all, you have to know that this is not just an easy process. You just open and everything blooms up and miracles and wonders are going to happen. Sometimes you're going to be sitting with no checks and you're going to wonder, how am I going to pay this, because I left my full time. So that is what is courage, and believing in yourself and continuing to work hard. People think leaving a job to become an entrepreneur means they become their own boss. No, you don't become your own boss. The clients become your own. The clients become your boss, because if you're not customer service oriented, your clients are going to leave, and then you're not going to make the revenue that you had intended to. So number one, and number two, you would realize it cannot be all about the money.
Yeah, exactly.
It cannot be. It has to be balanced. Of course, you have to build more families. You have to hire more. That means you do need the revenue, but you have to have the skill sets, the purpose, the vision match and align with the clients and the team that you're building. It's like you are flying. They say like you're flying and then you're building the airplane while flying, right?
Yes.
So that's saying. So that's what this feels like. You're already flying, and then you realize you don't have the right wing, and then you're fixing the right wing. So that's what entrepreneurship is. So what do we do at vendorship? And you just don't open up just because she opened up or he opened up or my cousin opened up, I need to open up. No, you need to see the demand. And sometimes having co-founders is good. Sometimes getting mentorship ideas is good. What at vendorship, when I realized was, when I was at the government, what I realized was there was a need, there was a gap. The need was a government from across the federal, state, and city levels puts out puts out RFPs or puts out projects that they need people to help them. And what I realized was most of the IT specific contracts in Georgia were mostly won from the firms outside of Georgia. And to give you a specific example, when I did put an RFP out, and it was a very minor adjustment to the website of integrating reminder programs. So it could be a software or a tool that can be added by an IT firm. We put the RFP out for almost we don't usually tell the budget out, but it was around for $50,000 at that time, a few years ago. And then, just putting an RFP is not as easy. It takes staff time to put the language together. Then you put it out, you wait, and then you get the response. So guess how many responses we received for that particular RFP, John? We received only 2 responses. And one of the response was someone whom we were not willing to work with, even because of the prior not good deliverables. So we really weren't planning on getting that contract, renegotiating about that contract. So that was out of the question. The second person applied 5 minutes late. So ultimately, we ended up with 0 contracts. And all that staff time, the taxpayers' time and money that was put. And then as I started doing some market research analysis and called a few IT firms and asked why they never responded, the response I got was, there are several red tapes. We don't trust the government. We don't know the process. It's too much documentation. We just don't know how to do it. And then for me, everything was like, oh my gosh, that's a piece of cake, that's a piece of cake, that's a piece of, everything was like, that's a myth, that nobody was much there available to bust that myth. And so that's when we opened up vendorship. So at vendorship, what we do is it's as simple as we make government contracting easy. We're not just in Georgia, we're across the US. And any IT firms who are involved in staff augmentation, who are involved in IT solutions, who want to get authorized to become a training center, for which all the funds exist in the government. We coach them, we become their champion, and from A to Z, we hold their hands, allow them to crawl, walk, run, and then fly. People can do it all themselves, but from what I know or we heard many times, takes 2 years to understand how, what, why, when of the process. And by the time you're frustrated and they run away, right? We give them that so if you see, it comes back to what the purpose was. I'm always good about educating, giving the people the knowledge, the tools to be strong and confident. So from the beginning, as a doctor, working in the government arena, working in the research field. So I also ran for public office. So ultimately, if you see, the tools was to keep the community empowered, that they have the power, they can do it. So at vendorship too, this is what we are doing. We're very focused on IT firms at this point, but we also have other clients such as one of the clients is selling face masks. So we are getting them into the contracting arena in the government, and even cleaning green supplies, environmental green supplies as well.
Oh, okay, that's a great one. You see, networking is it's key. A lot of people underestimate the importance of networking. Probably there are so many businesses out there, so many business owners out there who would like to get into government contracting, but probably they're just starting up. They don't have the right information. And so are you saying you work with startups too, or just companies that are already?
No, we work with a startup as much as just one CEO on board. And actually we've seen more success with them because they're so enthusiastic and so committed. They want to go achieve,
Yes.
We've worked successfully with startups that are, have not even formed themselves. We've helped form, and they're molding themselves to be in the public sector.
Right.
We are working with mid-sized companies. We're working with $100 million plus companies who see us add value to get into the public sector. And these are companies who've never stepped into the public sector, or we have businesses that have stepped into public sector a long time ago and have been frustrated, and they left it and they want to come back into the arena. The best thing that we're seeing is, if you look at it, the industry that's flourishing during COVID-19 is the IT industry.
Yes, IT.
And the government needs those services, especially if they're going digital.
Right.
So we've been just busy the past 3 or 4 months, John. I just can't say. We've hired more team members, and of course we keep the team together with meetings every week. But then the demand has increased for our service as well.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It's good to know that business is growing and getting stronger. So I just learned you ran for public office. Can you please tell us what office you ran for?
Yes, so I live in the north, the city of Johns Creek in Fulton County, and I ran for city council member. This was like probably in 2015, 2016, and it was a very, very good experience. So John, to tell you the truth, I've never done politics. My family has never done politics. I didn't know what politics was. All I wanted to be was a public servant to use my talents and skills, but all I knew was where the decisions are being made, we need more minority representation.
Exactly.
And, I didn't see that, especially in the area that I live in, but not equally represented, in the political arena. So I ran, not knowing anything what politics is, but I had, it made me very strong. So if you want me to tell you, frankly, from my heart, I think the real Nazeera was born after the campaign. The one who became more stronger, the one who really started understanding the hostility and the hatred that exists just based on skin color, and the one who realized and learned what is being said behind closed doors. And I didn't want to be that a person who just sits quiet and listens to that. I wanted to make that change. So I did win the runoff. Though I don't want to say I lost the election, I want to say I became a guide with rich experience who can guide many more with the population, which was 65% Caucasians in the city that I ran for. Was a huge, who's this brown lady, so many things came up. But like I said, the past is past, but you carry on with the lessons learned and become a better person. 4 years from then, I think I'm a much stronger person. I have a story to tell, and would want to push others to be involved in the political process.
Okay, so do you have any plans to rerun? Do you have any plans?
So that's a good question, John. I do get asked that question again and again. When I didn't get the seat, there were many members who came to me, community members, and said they were so happy to see me not get onto that seat. And I was like, really? Why? They said, because you're a social activist. She said, they said the people would have, those who would be following you wouldn't have made your life hell, because every minute, every step they would have followed you to pull you down. And what you really want to do for the society could have never been achieved. Because you are not a politician, so you are a social activist, and then I realized during the process, like I told you, the hostility and everything that exists and existed, the worst of the feelings or characteristics that I saw was like I stood in awe many a times. But again, sometimes we have to take our own responsibility and say, how can I change? How can I change that status quo?
Yes.
That looks like the feelings have been in existence and nobody changed that and nobody tried to build the bridge. So apart from this business as vendorship, I also serve my passion, which is in educating. I run a monthly chai and just chat session, which is a sort of, people have called it program show, TV show program.
Yeah.
I bring different professionals every month on different topics. Of course, culture is talked many a times. We talk about preventing crime. We talk about many things. Recently, we talked about COVID, and we talked about entrepreneurship, global partnership. So that chai and just chat there's no cost for participants to attend, and it opens up the global window of opportunity for many more. Start thinking beyond what they've been just taught.
Exactly. That's true. That's a good one. I like the spirit behind everything you do. Now, if you're listening to me right now, you see, she is a strong woman. She is a woman who, didn't allow limiting beliefs hold her back. She knew what she wanted and she went for it. So if you're listening, I see greatness in you. No matter what people say about you, no matter what you think about you, I want you to know that you are destined for greatness. All you need to do is to go after your dreams. No matter where you're from, do not let anybody tell you things that would stop you from chasing your dreams. Now, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can, whether you think you cannot, the choice is yours. So make good decisions. If you are hanging around people who are not encouraging you to make good decisions, please, I repeat, please change your circle. It is very important. Am I right, Nazeera?
Definitely, John, as you're giving Henry Ford's example, I just wanted to give you, I think many people must have heard about it. There was this frog who was trying to, climb the mountain.
Yes.
There were three frogs, friends, who were trying to climb the mountain. And people who were, all the frogs down, were saying, you can't do it. Nobody has done it. Don't do it. You're going to fall. So the first frog goes like 1/4 the way and listens to the people and says, maybe they're right, and it falls, it comes down. So the second frog goes up to half the way and it says, you know what, maybe they were right and I'm wrong, and it comes down. Third frog reaches the top of the mountain and it's like waving at the people, and then later we find out that it was deaf.
Oh.
It couldn't hear the people down.
Yeah. That's
it believed in its own capacity.
Yes, I get it. That's a beautiful one. That's very inspiring too. I like that. So do you do coaching?
No, I mean, I do. So I don't define it as coaching, John. I've never thought about it. But I know there are several people who, especially the youngsters, who come to me and ask for help in their professional statement, personal statement for applications to medical school. Right. Or many have asked about, I need internships. So we open up doors always for interns, even in our business arena as well. And we almost have like 5 interns, John. Yeah, and okay. All of them are getting paid. So, I mean, again, it's not like we call ourselves into that. We are only 2.5 years into the company. But what we do is add value to others, appreciate their talents and skills, and say, go, you can go attitude. So I think that is very necessary. Sometimes you do need a pat on the back. So it goes back to be with the people who are believers, of course, realistically, and who will push you beyond your own limitations to get there.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I like that. Helping people achieve their dreams, helping people develop their talents, their skills. Yes, that's good. Yes, yeah, definitely. That's a good purpose you have chosen for yourself in life. I like that.
Thank you, John.
Okay, so basically, for startups who would like to get into government contracts, how can they reach out to you? Do you have a contact telephone number you want people to call? Do you have a website, or do you have an email address?
Yes, so we do have a website which is vendorship, vendorship, vendorship.net. So it's vendorship.net, and they can always email info at vendorship.net. So as soon as they go to our website, they'll definitely see contact numbers, they'll see email access, or other phone numbers that they can call us. So basically the best way is because we want them to review our website, which has most of the information, review who the leadership team is, what we do, the industries we serve, some of the testimonials that we've got throughout our service. And then definitely when they're ready, when they know they want to work with us in securing government contracts in the local level, the city, county, state, and the federal level. So we coach them continuously. So you did ask me if you are a coach. So I'm like, of course I'm a coach, right? Even if
Yeah, you see, that's what this program is all about. I know a lot of people inspire people through music and some other things, but this is what I want to use to make my voice heard. This is what I want to use as a channel to help people really identify their full potentials. So basically what you do is coaching.
Yes.
And now you're going to really, after the program, I know you will sit down, reanalyze it, and know, okay, you need to tap into that potential. That is it. That's what the program is all about.
Definitely. So yeah, when you asked me coaching, I know there are life coaches. So I'm like, well, no, I've never called myself a life coach. But then I'm like, of course, in the business level, we call a coach of the client, and we call ourselves the champion for the client. So yes, that's exactly what we do.
Right. So you are a business coach. You do business coaching.
Yes, business development, help them succeed, expand their resources to the public sector, help them bring confidence in them to reach, to submit public sector contracts, and to help expand their revenue stream.
Right. So you basically provide companies with the tools required for them to succeed. Yes. So you can hold them from the beginning until they get to where they're going to. So you are a business strategist.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. That's awesome. And it won't be possible without the great team that we have. And John, the best part of our company is I've never called myself a boss. I mean, you know what? I'm like, I feel awkward to call myself a boss because all the team members are as intelligent and, responsible and self-propelled. So we become like a small family, where nobody has to micromanage. And believe me, I've never done from throughout my life. Mostly people have called me as transformational leader, but I'm not that manager who can manage people or behind their neck. Did you do this?
Right.
I've been told this way though. I've been told that with the interns and new employees, what I do is I just push them into the swimming pool, and then they have to swim and come out.
That's it. That's the role of a leader. So you are a leader. Keep doing what you're doing, because as a leader, as a transformational leader, we rise by lifting others. Yeah. We learn as we teach people. We help people develop themselves. And for you to be a good leader, you must also be a good servant. So we're servant leaders. I like that. And thank you for all you're doing. Thank you for shining the light in the world. Thank you for wanting to impact your knowledge into those interns you've hired. So if you're listening to me right now and you've been having doubts regarding getting into the government contract sector, now you have somebody who can hold your hand from the beginning. So if you've got questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to her. Her contact details are currently being displayed on the screen, and she will respond to you. That is what she does. She will put you through. Am I right?
We are a team of almost 10 people. So we are always, holding each other accountable. We always want to make each other look good. So we call it like the parts of a machine. So even one machine slows down, the entire process slows down. So we are always there supporting each other. So it's a mentorship team, if I may say. It's more than a company. It's a team of individuals making this company grow big. And I think where we want to go in the future is one of my interns from 7 years ago joined my company as well as the director for documentation specialist. And the second day in the job, she said, "Oh my gosh, this is all women run and women inspired and women, tech people moving forward." She said, "I can see ourselves in Forbes magazine cover." So, and this is her second day, and for her to get this thought, she must have been inspired. And then she inspired us, and then we're like, we never know. So they say aim high.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. I like that. Okay, so now with the pandemic that is going on, what do you think about the government contracts?
Yeah, so people have been asking that. Many of our potential clients have been holding on to moving into that, and everybody has a reason to fear. But what we've noticed is one of the mayors who got on our webinars, we also have whole bi-weekly webinars, John. One of the mayors of the city who got into the webinar said 90% of the cities in Georgia are not digitally transformed. So he said that means they were literally broken during COVID because they've never done remote work. They only knew office, they only knew brick and mortar, the computers were there, so they were not prepared. So do you see the opportunity there already for IT industry to boom, right, into the government sector, to start helping the local government to get digitally transformed, get them the right apps, get them the right tools to continue their work. If you see, government never really stopped as well, right? Because even if they had to go to the building and do the work, they did it because most of the services that you would get, the court services, the health department services, nothing really stopped. It was already going. So government never really ceased their work, number one. In fact, government is putting out many more requests for IT-related, not just staff augmentation, but also IT-related solutions at this time. So what I've seen, as much as I hate to see the retail industry or the food industry going a little bit down, I've seen only flourishing businesses for IT industry into the government sector.
Okay.
And for those who are providing emergency COVID-19 equipment, materials, has flourished like top the roof across US.
Okay. So I'm sure my listeners are hearing all what you are saying. So do not waste any time. Luck, they say, is when opportunity meets preparation. That's what a philosopher called Seneca said. Luck is whenever opportunity meets preparation. How prepared are you? Whether you like it or not, in every difficulty lies opportunities. So reach out to Nazeera, and she will be able to help you kickstart your business. Okay.
Thank you, John. Yes.
Yeah, and Nazeera, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join the program. And I hope when next I call you, you would be able to come on as well.
Definitely, John. And you know what, I appreciate you and your team for doing this, on your, you have to pick out the time to make this happen as well. So we appreciate you. We wish you all the best, not just from me, from our team as well, in getting the message out there. And definitely I want to say people not to be, distressed about what is going on in the corporate level, for them to look beyond and start seeing that the public sector is opening arms.
Right. They say the only constant thing in life is change. Yeah, so this is a wake-up call. Now, do not give up on whatever is going on, because there will definitely be life after this whole thing. It is a phase. So you need to wake up, You need to start making preparations towards the next phase of life. Things are changing, whether you like it or not. Things are changing. So no matter how people try to discourage you, I don't care about that. All I know and all I always want to remind you is that you are destined for greatness. You are greater than who you think you are. So go for your dreams. That's all I have to say. So thank you once again, Nazeera, for joining me on the program. I'll talk to you some other time.
Thank you so much, John.